thanks to all our active patrons who have contributed a lifetime of $100 or more to reach Garuk Dong level status.
Here is the list of those special patrons in order of contributions.
If you would like to support our show, check out the Commander Smiths at patreon.com. Welcome to the Commander Smiths.
We are the Commander Smiths.
I'm Adam Smith.
And I'm Lowry Smith.
Don't worry.
We're cousins.
This is episode 307, and I know last week we said it's probably going to be a secret lair, but it's not.
It's not. It's not.
Why? Well, but why? Not. But why? Why is it? Why is it?
What are we? They made an announcement that they will be doing an announcement for the secretly. Yeah. They're like, we know you're expecting it, but this is what we're going to do. And they're going to do a Ren and Suri cat and dog secret lair deck, which is awesome, but that's about it. We know that it's Ren and Suri, the cat dog thing.
Yep.
And we know that that's double-sided, and it's a double-sided anointed procession, which is huge.
That is good.
That's a great reprint. Dysentery. And probably got it from
people that are just listening are like, why did you just yell dysentery? Like,
so that's the announcement. We don't need to talk much further on that, other than I do plan on mentioning it within our main segment.
Oh, what are we doing today, Lowry? What is? And we're both not drinking again today. I mean, not again. I mean, this doesn't happen very often where both of us are. My reason is I had a little too much fun on this weekend for a wedding, but we'll talk about that in a second. But okay, so what are we doing today?
We're going to do, they've already kind of set the release schedule for 2024, and we want to just kind of talk about some potential future specs that you might want to be interested in getting.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is something that we used to be a lot more heavier into before Secret Layers kind of just took over.
The Secret Layers is just the easier way to do things. But yeah. So this is how we kind of would do things when we were like, oh, we know what sets are coming out. Hey, this is what's normally in this plane or whatever. We should look at getting these kind of these specs or whatever. So we're going to kind of dive into that.
I would also say we probably never planned it out this far in advance.
Normally
it was just like, this is the next set.
Yeah, the next set.
And so we're just giving you hints, tips, tricks, what to be looking for. And maybe I'll just do the disclaimer right now. I would avoid any commons and uncommons at this point, even though they may go up or whatever. But they're the damn, liberals reprint policy affects that. Like you are likely going to get a lot of those reprinted. If you're thinking they're going to be good or not, they still will probably be good, but they likely won't go up.
And maybe then we'll probably talk. We'll give you some tips too on like certain things that if you there's a possibility of all these being reprinted. Whatever we give out here,
right? All of these have the potential to be reprinted.
But there are angles of like a particular card to get, like for example, and then we'll talk about it later too. Is like some of my stuff is going after the secret layer of the version of the card if they have that to get that, because they're not reprinting that art again. We have, even though we have the secret layer coming out, they haven't repeated at this point secret layer the same art.
Correct.
They've repeated because we've already had Rin and Siri before.
Yes,
not that long ago actually.
We've had Brainstorm, we've had Serum Visions, we've had Ponder. The little cantrips at this point.
Yep, we had Ponder in the Black is Magic, and then is there another one that might have been in?
I want to say there is.
Oh, I think it was in the 30th. No?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, maybe it is in that one.
It was in there if we're counting that.
Yep.
So besides the point at this point, and that's going to be the main segment, and then we have Staple versus this week because I failed last week and Stump the Smith Savant. Yeah. And
which, by the way,
you want to pick that name right now?
Well, that's a good idea. Roberto7, you need to contact me because I don't remember what your real name is. I tried to find it. I'm like, I don't know how to contact him to give him his prize. So you need to email the commandersmith@gmail.com so I can get you that. What prize is it? Oh, is that Heroic Intervention Jurassic Park and all that stuff. Oh, it says 3 times what Renshai has been done 3 times.
I couldn't name the third one.
Yeah.
But our staple verses, as you're picking the next name, is going to be Chandra's Ignition, which is Atoms.
Woo!
And then I will be Blasphemous Act, and that will be the versus part. Well, I don't know if that's appropriate. You just mad because I'm going to win?
Boo earns. I was saying Boo
got?
earns. All right.
Pick a name.
All right, got one. Oh, it's a green one, which means it's an older one. Means it's people that
is it Alex?
Given. No, I think we already used his. It's I think I was actually chatting with It's Arch Chaos 15 will be the stumper starting next week. So we'll get that going. Right. And you had mentioned it's gonna be roaming. What is it?
Roaming Throne foil.
Yeah.
Proxy.
Yeah, let's see if I can find that really quick just to kind of show that one off.
And Arch Chaos must mean that you're really into like Gothic architecture. Because that would be my guess. Don't look at the camera like that. I'm just glad you can't hit the button. You can finger button if you want. Mouth button.
That will be mouth button. This will be the prize for Stump the Smith Savant starting next week.
Very pretty.
Okay, so we got that. Oh, we have the results. Let's just do that really quick. The results of the sword fight tournament. Let's get that on.
Who has the bigger sword?
Well, it was both of your battles. Both of them. Yeah, you did both battles there. So, all right. So we had our Sword of Feast and Famine, the #1 overall seed, going against your your second pick, but the #3 overall seed, Hearth and Home. Lowry, how do you think this one worked out?
I don't think it's crushing. How about this? But I think it's 70% for Feast and Famine. I'm gonna say that.
It's a crushing.
It's a crushing.
Feast and Famine takes it down with 81% of the votes. And actually, it was in the 90s for the longest time. So this is by far our biggest blowout for our tournament stuff. I think Sword of the Animus would have done better than Hearth and Home, but whatever. That's neither here nor there.
Because they were head up, right?
I think you just put it on.
Because this is that kind of stuff that's kind of like Georgia would have done better against Michigan than Alabama.
I mean,
you know what? Alabama beat Georgia, and then Michigan beat Alabama.
Well,
what more do you want?
Sword of the Animus beat Hearth and Home in Staple Versus a few months back.
I don't know how much beating we should be talking about with swords, but
it sliced the competition. Wah, wah, wah.
Did you see that? I made the X move.
The X move. Hey,
do you think we're getting banned on X because we haven't changed the Twitter picture on our? Like I can see it right there.
Yeah, I know.
It's Twitter @Commanders.
That is okay.
Maybe that's why they're mad at us.
Resolution number 17. I'm gonna try to get all this shit changed.
Mr. Musk is very mad at us.
We've talked about this. We may be eliminating the Garuk Dong stuff. Lowry and I have been talking because
I don't think we've vocalized that.
No, we haven't. But we may be doing a different level system for patrons and stuff like that. But how many people actually listening? Well, there's a few. We got some old school people here.
Well,
even know what the Garuk Dong reference is from. That's like from year 1 or 2.
Nah, year 2. Year 2.
Yeah. So, we might just mature a little bit and get rid of the dong and figure out something else. We got boobies, so we don't need to have both, I guess, because it doesn't make sense anymore. People are like, why do they even say Garuk's dong? It doesn't.
Right.
And if you,
I get it.
If you listen to that bit, when we did that, we were both drunk, but you were ham-boned at that.
Well,
I was like, Lowry, record this, and you're just Garuk's dong, Garuk's dong.
Oh, when we did that part,
yes. Yeah.
But when we came up with the bit, that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Basically, when we just go laughing because we're just tangentially joking, is when the long-term bits happen.
Let's just say that it went veiny is what happened in that.
Yikes.
But yeah, so the sword fight tournaments, Sword of Feast and Famine takes it down. Best sword out there at this point. So what that means is the next tournament we do, Lowry will have first pick. So this is 2 in a row, I believe, for Lowry. So yeah, good. Congratulations. Way to go, buddy. All right, back to everything here. We're getting out of the sword stuff.
Tags? Or did we need to talk about the weekend? I'm good.
I had fun.
Good. Hashtag dong forever.
Yeah.
I knew you'd be like that, Mr. Squirrel.
We had a wedding that we went to. It was my cousin's wedding, and not cousin on our Smith side. It was on the other side. And
surprised.
There was a lot of beer, and I was disappointed that I forgot the Malort. Otherwise, that would have been handed. Yeah, no, I mean, because I was paying for it yesterday. Just there was too much. But for those that have heard this before, at the end of the wedding, everybody pulls down their pants, or not everybody, guys do, and it was fantastic. So we had our pants. We did at your wedding. I pulled my pants down there. She went to St. John's, St. John's is where they do it, and so up by St. Cloud. And so it was like
where they do it, like,
well, it originated with Sal's. Sal's is it's a bar in St. John's, and that's where at the end of the night they would play Piano Man, and then everybody gets around in the circle, and the guys drop their pants, and you just sway back and forth, and everybody's drunk, and it's a lot of fun. So that was it was a good time. The boys,
I do want to do. I think this is Esteban, but hashtag Dong Squad. I like that one for sure.
Is that the new? Are we getting our new levels? Is this what's happening? You have reached Dong Squad level. Yeah. Get some good ones in there. Maybe we'll change it to that instead of garage song.
Just give us some good hashtag dong whatever, and that's gonna be the new levels.
I reached Dong Squad. Oh, congratulations, honey. Dick's out.
It's
dick out. Dick outs. Dick outs.
Dick outs.
I think he's asking if our penises are out.
No. Dicks are not out.
No, it's just your underwear is still on. You just pull your pants down and just sway back and forth. I have yet to see anyone shark anybody. I haven't seen the full Monty.
What's that? Are you talking about like
your shark fin?
The crack?
No, the shark fin. Oh. Your
what does that mean?
Your pinois, the shark fin, sharking somebody. The pants in them all the way so their underoos are on the ground.
Oh, isn't it sharking when you?
Yeah,
that's
credit card.
Isn't that the same thing too?
No, sharking is when it. What? Cole jumps on. You know, Cole.
Hashtag Team Force Walk.
You know what? How about this?
No, he can stay all he wants.
Listen.
Get the fuck out.
I made the button
I
like 10 minutes.
Can't get that mad because I said it. Get the fuck out.
It might be my new favorite button. You're just so get the fuck out.
So unsure of myself. Get the fuck out. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that better than whatever the other. The fuck was. Right. Out. That keeps me up at night. Like I'm like, stop yelling at me, Dad. And so.
And I think you like this.
The low key one a lot better. Fuck out. If I ever get mad at my son and like I'm like, you need to get out of this house, I hope that's how I sound. Get the fuck out.
Oh,
he's like, are you sure? Did you mean that?
It didn't sound like you were very confident with that. Get the fuck out there. Get the fuck out. Oh, fantastic.
Oh, that was good.
Okay. All right. I guess we can do.
Thanks, everybody.
So the wedding was great. Boys tore up the dance floor. It was pretty sweet. Hey, we're wearing the same shirt tonight. Look at that. We didn't plan it out.
Oh, no.
Look at that.
I just have a pile of these shirts that I pulled from. I haven't washed a single one of them.
Oh, gross.
I just wear it for like now. I don't wear it all over the place.
I do wear mine everywhere.
You wear it,
yeah. I tend to, but if I just wear it for the podcast.
I'm gonna go to the dentist tomorrow. I don't need him asking me about this.
Damn, I wish we still had Malort on the menu for you.
Oh, yeah, the first time I asked you, he's like, "You're a boozer."
Yeah, you might want to stop drinking before you come to the dentist. But okay, yeah. So I am taking a break from drinking this week because that was brutal. With that and our end of the year episode, I'm like, I've drank my. Get out of here.
It was Paul this time.
Out. How many Urza shirts do I own? I own 2 because I did 2 different styles. I changed it up after the first round. So, okay, let's get to tags. All right, that's what you meant by this. I thought you were doing hashtag Team Forest Walk stuff or whatever.
I was.
Yeah. Oh,
I was.
All right, fine. You can.
Hashtag Team Forest
But
Walk.
he's been there that was before. You're just.
Yeah, but I missed it. I was wrapped in your
Get the
story.
out.
Yeah,
we weren't even
I like
drinking. That. It's just okay.
Get the fuck out.
It might be my new favorite button. All right. You can become a patron by donating, or you can support the Commander's Miss by becoming a patron. $1 or more gets you into the Discord. $5 or more gets you proxies each month if you so choose. The higher you move in the tiers there, you could get some foil proxies like the one I was showing earlier. You can get foil proxies the higher you move on there. And you could save them up and get them all at once if you want. We got a big...
Stop promoting that.
AJ has a big patron thing he's going to do it every 6 months. So it's just a big load of proxies that he gets, you know. I'm glad I paused at big load. That was a perfect spot to
Well,
pause.
I feel like you're really beating around the bush here. So with a bunch of words.
Get the fuck out. All right. So that is one way to financially support our show. The other way is you could jump on the live streams and normally make us take shots, but Lowry's got to deal with some gout stuff. And he has the dentist tomorrow, and I'm taking a break tonight because I don't malort and booze right now is not good. But normally you can donate on the live stuff. You can do jelly beans. You can do, and I don't want that to make it sound like you have a problem, by the way. I'm not saying Lowry's not drinking because he has a drinking problem. It's just he has a gout problem right now that he's trying to get.
I probably do. I'm not going to be offended. I might. Potentially.
But he has a gout problem we're just trying to deal with at this point. So
definitely a gout problem.
That's the biggest thing we're dealing with. But you could also make us take jelly beans if it's on our games or anything else. We do have the hot beans that we can be taking. Speaking of,
we might be playing a game this week.
There you go. Discord game potentially this week.
We didn't leave a message for them, so we'll do that tomorrow or maybe tonight.
What message?
But
what am I?
Just seeing if anybody else will play with us.
Oh yeah, we gotta.
Like there's plenty of people there.
But
not many people that want to play with us.
There isn't a lot of people that like playing with us.
Hashtag Dong Squad.
So there's a lot of ways you guys can support the financially by donating on the live stuff there. Also financially, but free for you is if you have a choice of listening to the podcast or watching us. If you can jump on YouTube and watch us there, that helps us out. Every penny counts. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel, you got to do it. Get there and subscribe and watch videos and stuff. We have tons of stuff that go on every week. Like Curated MTG goes, are we twice a week or we're once a week at this point? We're once now.
I don't know. It's just kind of whenever I feel like doing the video.
Yeah. So Curated is one of our shorts that Lowry does. Do you remember any of the ones that are coming? Went something? They're shorts. You can check them out. They're on YouTube.
Man, you should go check them out. It's pretty cool.
Lowry also did another video last week with Spotlight. And are you going to be playing that deck this week or are you going to be playing your
No, I'll
deck?
probably stick to Xavier Sol.
Oh, Xavier Sol. Okay,
because
cool.
I promised it. But I just finished off, wrong words. Finished off Lara Croft.
Ooh.
Hey, baby.
Lucky.
Not really. Like, no, like, stop. What's going on? TikTok. I did Rite of Passage. There we go.
Curated. Oh, there you go. There you go for your Curated.
Enchantment that whenever the creature is damaged, it gets a +1/+1 counter. It has to survive the combat damage, so it's not like preventing the damage. But really cool.
It's not like
Enchantment.
Vigor.
Yeah, it's not like Vigor, but they kind of go potentially if you're looking for 1/1 counter stuff. Yeah, and that's a cool card for your enraged decks or whatever you want. So check that out on TikTok, especially because I was bashing TikTok and it hurt me and only gave us 40 views instead of the normal 300-ish.
Yeah, so
I am very sure.
I'm sorry, TikTok.
I'm very sure the apps are listening to me vocally. And I'm pretty sure there's bots, and they're like, yeah, you fucking got bots.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, okay, so then the other one was the Spotlight, and the Spotlight was, you said, Laura Croft, and how far are you done with that one, do you think?
Yeah, I finished it. It's enjoyable.
Is it? All
A
right.
lot of there isn't a lot of like themes when it comes to legendary artifacts, and so it's pretty all over the place. But I think I have about in between 25 and 30 legendary artifacts that kind of work with it and make it so you're able to hit it.
Oh, good
get it working
for you.
You're right. You're right.
You
Flash is really good in the deck. So if you're wondering if you're building it, Flash is very good, because the big thing is you're able to cast it, and so generally you're gonna have to wait until like after combat. And if you could do it at Flash speed, you can like indestructible or like the +1 double strike,
Do some
or
tricky stuff.
have some sort of protection thing going on. So
Cool.
It's pretty cool.
So yeah, that was Spotlight. I think that's it for last week. I was busy last week because I had the wedding stuff, so I didn't have anything else. This week, like we mentioned, we're gonna probably have a Discord game going on live. We're thinking Thursday at this point, but we'll let you guys know. I think that's it for this week for video wise, right?
See.
Yeah. Okay. So, it depends on what the hell happens with the secret layer stuff, but that's a you and I discussion. That's not a necessarily right here discussion. So we don't know how they're spoiling it. They said they're doing it over 3 days, so it just depends on what happens on Thursday. So, okay, so that is the free way to support us. Just make sure you jump on YouTube or TikTok. You can check us out there. You can also follow us on Twitter or X or whatever. I haven't posted anything on there for a little bit, but we're there. We're probably making a move to somewhere else, not necessarily like a Twitter type thing, but whatever. We're there at this point. You can also direct message us by shooting us an email at commandersmiths@gmail.com. Okay, that's it. We're done. We're out of here. Bye. No, just kidding. Let's see. I don't even have a button for that. And if you hit your button, it sounds really bad. So hang on. Let me hit the AJ button. You can say, "Here you go, AJ."
Here you go, AJ.
Well, it would just give me a second. Hey, maybe I
Oh,
don't
well,
even have.
I'll edit this down in the audio part.
Okay, go ahead.
Just
Say,
kidding.
"Here you go, AJ."
No, I already.
Say it
Here you
again.
go, AJ.
Get the fuck out.
That wasn't for you specifically, AJ. That's. I don't trust you anymore. I'm not gonna be able to
Get
trust you.
the fuck out.
It's just so soft and just.
Well, it's.
Yeah.
I also feel like that's not how I sound like.
It's so like.
So it's disorienting a little bit. Like that's definitely not me, but I know I said it.
All right, so here we got our 2024 set in review or whatever. We got the sets that are coming out this year. Do we just want to go through each one and kind of mention some stuff?
Yes.
Well, how do we want to talk about this? We haven't even really. We're doing what we normally do.
Right.
We're winging it.
Right.
How do we want to we go about
Winging.
this?
I think we just go through each set release a little bit, discuss what we're expecting to have happen, and
then
most
hit
of
specs
what
at the end.
and then hit a couple of ideas. I think. Yeah. Go.
Okay. All right.
Start.
All right.
You're the starter.
I'm the
guy.
starter. All right. Well.
I guess most of my information I was reading off of a TCG player article, and I'll post that in the notes
Yeah,
underneath
that'd be
the
good.
show. And this is something
This
different,
is Star City Games is what I pulled
Okay.
just with the schedule there.
If I like it, I will also post that one.
Okay.
But I probably
So
won't. I don't know how much info is there.
it doesn't do it the article that you found where it talked about specifically cats, dogs, and rats off of the Bloomborough one, but it does talk about animals and everything there. Okay, so we're going to start off with the one that's going to be coming out pretty damn soon. What Park says, remember to like, subscribe, and shark your lover. Sharking.
Yeah?
Yeah. Oh, that could be a level.
Yeah.
It could be the shark level.
Shark lover?
Level? Like a
Lover?
level? All right.
Shark lover level.
All right. Ravnica Remastered is coming out January 12th. So that's in 4 days. Is that right?
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah. All right. So as you can tell, we're probably not going to be we're not buying boxes of this. This is going to be a single thing only. It is a remastered set, so it's all reprints in there, but there is some pretty sweet stuff. I do have a buy call in this and not a spec call. This will be the time to get your shocks. I personally went through my collection and sold I had a set of 4 of each shock. Oh, good for me. I sold 2 of the basic versions, the ones from thank you. From was it Guilds of Ravnica or whatever it was. I sold those off for really cheap. I mean, they're really cheap right now in general because this got announced. But I'm looking to get the old border and the full art foils from this. So so this one, there isn't really. Do you have a spec call in this necessarily?
No, I wasn't even looking at that because I mean, it's a full reprint set.
Yeah.
There are stuff that you can go out and get, but I've been around for almost everything but the original Ravnicas, and I bought heavily into it. I really enjoy multicoloreds, and they've always been fairly legend centric. Building almost, the colors are built towards that commander, so they're at least always been fun to buy and get stuff. So there's a lot in here. There almost isn't anything that I don't have already.
Oh, good. Dang it.
Yeah, I knew. And so, there might be some, I'll have to figure out what I want to do for pimping on the shocks, but I have plenty of those as well. So if you don't have shocks, I agree with Adam. Go and get them. Otherwise, if you like it, go get it, because these remastered sets, when they look for that at bottom and then buy, wait a little bit, but I don't think anything here is going to super spike after getting reprinted either.
Yep. So we got that. Then we have February 9th is Murders at Karlov Manor. Isn't this the Clue type one?
So
right?
no,
it's the next one.
This is the winter set.
Okay,
and this is based out of Ravnica, but it's not focused on the guilds. But I am putting money that they're going to put the guild gates in at the common slot for lands, just for the 19th time. But that's kind of what notes wise what I got here from, I'm just pulling this from the article, but they are looking at it and they kind of think that there's going to be they think it's Aurelia, Krenko, Judith, Massacre Girl in the art and some of the art products and stuff like that. They said not guild focused. It is based in Ravnica. When we are discussing, there's also the Clue game that is based off of this.
The Clue edition.
Clue edition, and that will be kind of right in with it.
And that'll have the shocks in it as well, right?
As a full art.
Art,
and, and that's going to be an $80 box. I don't think it's remade. I think it's going to be packs with a Clue experience, but it's not necessarily Clue either.
Multiplayer experience. Yep, it says open packs, battle it out, and try to solve the murder with weapons and all that fun stuff. So Clue. So it's doing a mix of Clue and magic, which
got it.
Interesting.
And so when I heard Aurelia, I was thinking red white attack, Krenko's goblins, Judith is sacking, Massacre Girl is kind of killing, aristocrat style. So if any of those are trigger words for you, or you're oh, you know what, this could use a reprint, that's where you go.
I did put in there with messing with clues and investigation, which is the same thing, but your pet peeve.
Are you doing this on purpose?
But I didn't have really. I mean, the only thing I really had as there isn't really much. Like Tameo's journal is like
I
really
had
the
that one, yeah.
is the really only good clue. I mean, you have tireless tracker, but it's not using the clues necessarily. I like Tameo's journal to use clues in that, but I didn't really have a lot with these. I don't start specking until we get a little bit later in the year here. So
and then the only other keyword that I would kind of think about is vampires, because Karlov is vampires, right? I think. Oh no, I was thinking wrong. Karlov is Teysa.
oh yep.
I'm a dum dum. I was thinking it was
I see. Yep. I mean, it sounds
the vampire planeswalker.
Yeah. You're Soren.
Soren Markov.
Yeah.
I was thinking Markov.
There you go. Yep.
Murders Karlov mixed
You mix
together.
the M
Markov.
and the
There we go. It works in my head. So vampires I would not count on.
Yeah, but you had mentioned when we were texting about aristocrat style, and that's kind of that's a Teysa type thing.
That is a Teysa thing. And so I agree. Tameo's journal. I was also thinking Lannis, cryptozoologist from Modern Horizons, because that creates clues, and then you can like sacrifice them and look at opponents like top of their deck and play stuff off of it a little bit. So just like clue payoffs, there aren't a ton of them, like you're saying.
There wasn't a lot.
So we'll see. I think new cards are going to be important for that. I was also thinking like if goblins get a comeback, Merfolk just did, and there weren't a ton of spikes there. So I probably would not, if goblins are a thing, I wouldn't count on many of those going up too much, other than maybe look into some old foils, like old bordered foils, examples which are common on common, but a Goblin Assassin or Goblin Warstrike, something like that. I don't even know where those foils are at. I didn't check.
I would also, like I mentioned earlier in the beginning, then if you're looking at goblins, there's plenty of secret layer goblins as well. Those would be
Also
things
true.
that would go after those. I don't know pricing. I didn't do those. But yeah, those, take a look at when we're talking about sets in general and things getting reprinted and all that stuff, you're gonna get reprints. So your safest bet is not to just go get the basic version of a particular, like, this is a good goblin, I got to get this card because it should go in every goblin deck. If you get the basic version, there's probably a good chance that's going to be reprinted in the set. Not necessarily 100%, but there's a better chance. If you get a special version, like you mentioned, a foil or like a secret layer, if it gets reprinted, you still have the better version of that, and it can make that go up because people are trying to pimp out their decks. So that's just kind of like unless the card's really expensive in general, like if you're just talking like a Crater Hoof Behemoth, you wouldn't want, that's not a good example, but you know what I'm saying? Like, well, I was going to say if it got reprinted, that would still drop the price a little bit or quite a bit. But you know what I'm saying? Like if it's, you don't go, I like to try to get the special version of them just because we're all Magic players. We like to pimp out our decks. Foil's the way to go a lot of times, or the best version, like secret layers. That's a limited print, and you're not getting the same art again. So, but yeah. Anyways, got more from that besides the goblins?
Nope.
Okay,
That's kind of, those were the ideas, and so I'm just looking for kind of keywords in the articles and stuff like that. Next set, I think a lot of people are pumped for this, is going to be the Fallout. They're going to be Universes Beyond, and they are commander decks.
Yeah.
That's how it's going to be coming out. The only thing that we really kind of know, there are definitely some cards that have been released in but it's energy.
Yeah.
So
in the, I guess that would be an interesting, what I was just talking about. Aetherworks Marvel, it's actually pretty cheap at this point. So it's not that risky to go in. It's a mythic. I think if they were reprinted again, if it made it in there, I don't think, do you think that would even make it? It wouldn't make sense to be in a Fallout deck. You know, it felt like when they did Warhammer, they did a lot of on theme stuff for the most part, new cards and all that stuff. They might.
It just depends on how many energy pieces that they're going to be putting in, but they might need to reprint it depending on how much there is. Again, avoid any commons and uncommons. And I think you would aim for the mythics and some of the rares, but really it's just the mythics in my mind. And I agree. Aetherworks Marvel was
And
on my list.
Isn't
There's
Gonti on there?
Gonti's Aether Heart, which is a very plane specific type card, which is extra turn. You have Aetherwind Basker, which is it's a mythic, and then it kind of gives trample and stuff like that. You have Demon of Dark Scheme. When it comes down, all the creatures get -2/-2, and then you get energy for each creature that dies. I can see that, but I don't know Fallout well enough to know if a creature type's going to be there, like Demon. And then there is Danavolt Tower, which is like whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, create 2 energy. I can easily see that being reprinted, so maybe a foil or a pre-release on that.
The only thing I would say though about like in the commander decks, the hard part here is we may see surge type foils, because that's what they've been doing with the Doctor Who, with the Warhammer, is doing a special foiling of that. So there's a little bit of a risk in that, in this case, of doing a foil. It is a commander deck, but they've been doing the whole deck. Well, what Warhammer was, the whole deck was surge foil. Doctor Who, you had to get it in the collector boosters to get those. So it's tough.
The other thing too, another way to look at this is when we're saying these words and these cards and ideas and stuff like that. It's if you're like, hey, I'm into an energy deck. Like, what color is the energy commander? I don't know if I've even seen an energy specific commander that's like, we're wielding energy around. It's just something like it's going to be in there as a thing. And so do you want to build the deck? Now, you don't want to go in super deep and like be spending a ton of money, but also if you miss out on Gonti's Aether Heart and it's $3-4, and then it'll go, if it's not reprinted, it's something that can easily go up to 10 in this. You know what I mean? And we kind of talked that we wouldn't be doing this, but if you're missing out on certain cards and you know you want to be building an energy deck of some sort,
get them now.
Probably do that.
Yep.
At least pick up one copy. It doesn't have to be anything special. There is a difference between speccing and playing and building decks and not spending on the spike.
Yep.
Like avoiding the spike is important in my opinion.
I did also have Aether Hub in there as a $1 to duel spec. I know that's, you talked about the uncommons and stuff. I was more focused on the player promo version of that one because that one's still really cheap. But again, I think that if they're going to use energy a little bit more, they're going to throw that in there. So
I think it's in there.
Yeah. So that's why if you're going to get it, it would be the player promo foil one. But I think it's going to get put in the deck just to add more use to the energy stuff. Yeah. That was it for me for energy stuff. I didn't really want to go any deeper on that one.
On to the next one.
The next one I also didn't really do much either because I don't know where to go with that. The Outlaws of Thunder Junction. This is the one that has Oko. At least we think it's Oko on the front there, the poster and everything. I don't know what
Wild West theme.
Right. So
gunfights.
So we got Will Smith is going to be in there.
Wow, West, a little bit of a musical. Okay, I like where this is going.
Fantastic set.
A little two-step, a little dancing. No, okay, so, you know, in my mind, Wild West is like guns. There's like horses or trains, bank robberies. And so bank robberies seems like the most likely. Thinking treasures.
Spec on those bank robberies.
I'm thinking treasures. I would think treasure.
I did see somebody, I think it was Nick on the Discord or somebody else was mentioning gold. Could be interesting to reintroduce gold here.
No, well, I mean, they have gold.
Yes, but they only have it in a couple cards. That's why I said reintroduce gold here.
There's a reason why they don't have it.
But you make it fixed instead of, you know, treasures now are starting to make them come into play tapped. Now you just make the gold, and you make gold is what comes into play tapped. Gold always comes in tapped, and maybe we
doesn't matter.
What do you mean? Doesn't matter.
Gold doesn't need to tap to be sacrificed.
Oh,
that's the problem with it.
Oh, that one stays. Is that what it is?
So it doesn't matter if it's tapped or not. It just you sacrifice it. So that is the biggest problem with gold. There is no way to neuter it. So it's just kind of I doubt they'd go back to it as a very strong theme.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have, like you said, we have treasure. Why would you
Right.
add in another similar
Yeah.
thing?
And so the art right along there, the speculation on the TCG article was Tiny Bones, Vraska, Oko, and Rakdos. So Rakdos is, they're thinking that's the one with the wings, and maybe they got some more intel there too. You know, in my mind, I was thinking treasures, that's the easiest thing to latch onto. And so thinking Academy Manufacturer,
Manufactor. Sorry.
I said that. I wanted to say it the other way, so it might sound weird. Bank Buster could be a good reprint, but I don't. Yeah, probably. I can see that.
There's your
reprinted
bank
as
spec.
well. Yep. So I was just thinking, but payoffs for treasure, Goldspan Dragon potentially that was just reprinted. So it could potentially get reprinted again. You have Grim Hireling, which is a good solid one, and it has a reprint as well. So I can see that happening. Professional Facebreaker, being able to sacrifice treasures to look at cards.
That's just a good
Magda.
spec in general.
Yeah, just a good one in general. Magda, potentially, like if you're creating a lot of them, then just having Magda there to be able to sacrifice 5 treasures.
It's a fantastic card.
Revel in Riches for the you win the game, and then Reign of Riches for cascading whenever you use a treasure the first turn. So those would be the ones that I'd think about, just treasure payoffs. There's a ton of cards that can make a ton of treasures. You know, I'm not going to sit down and say that Dockside Extortion is a bad card. I'd say it's a bad spec, though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So take what you will.
All right, this is when I actually kind of jump in
This is
here.
where
'cause
you're
at. All right, then we get to quarter 2, Modern Horizons 3. We know from the poster, as you can see right here, we're getting our Eldrazi back. I'm guessing because it's Modern Horizons 3, and we did just get a bunch of reprints off of them, is we might see new versions of these guys. It'd be really sweet there. I didn't spec on any Eldrazi because I have no idea where that's going. We've gotten them printed a couple times, but going into Modern Horizons 2, this is an opportunity to pick up. We talked about the shocks before. I think this is a good time to pick up your fetches now, up until Modern Horizons 3 gets released. Because
Why do you think now?
The Modern Horizons 2 fetches, not the
Get the MH2 fetches.
Yes,
Okay.
because those are at their low point, and if you go back to when MH2 was released, the allied fetches skyrocketed after that. They jumped $20-$30, depending on which fetch you're looking at, the more desirable ones, and have since gone up because it's been so long since we've gotten those. Now, Modern Horizons 2, what they did is they printed the shit out of it, and so they have tanked those, which is good. Now people can get their fetches for super cheap. I mean, you're looking at Scalding Tarn at $17. $17. It's never been that low before. And it's because they
Definitely make sure you get those.
Yeah. So I think there's a good possibility of the fetches are the allied fetches are going to get printed soon, and I'm guessing they'll be here, but I don't know. You know, it's got to be in the next year or so.
I think it's a good guess.
It's a
to think that it happens here.
So you can expect the enemy
other thing
ones to
too
go
is
up.
they have stated that they don't like putting fetches in standard, and so putting it in a product like this is right where they want to be doing it.
Yeah, and it doesn't affect other formats. You know, this is for modern. You know, it works perfect there. So I have, you know, you can pick up your Scalding Tarn. You can pick up the retro or the borderless foils or the retro foils or the retro etched. Like there's so many versions. That's why the prices are so low. But you can get those for $25. Expect those to potentially jump up maybe to 40 over time if they don't get printed. And I think that's what I had for the fetches. Yeah, fetches there. Also, yeah, I didn't do anything with Eldrazi there. I don't know. What else do you think would be in this? Because we're not seeing.
So there's two things. I want to finish up the Eldrazi part.
Okay.
My biggest thing would be is since they just reprinted a lot of Eldrazi in Commander Masters, I want to speculate that they're not going to reprint the new Eldrazi cards in this.
I think they're going to be new ones, like different.
Right. But what I'm saying is the Commander Masters ones become more relevant because they're not reprinted.
Oh, yeah.
So I would go through and buy the new ones from Commander Masters. So they are kind of, like flaying tendrils or something. There's about 4 or 5 really good new Eldrazi cards. I see those going up. Again, not sure if I'd spec on, a $10 card. But,
especially when I wouldn't go after Emrakul right now.
Right. I can see End of Days being reprinted here. The one that reduces from the cost that was just in Secret Lair.
Yep.
Easily can see this being.
It needs a reprint because that sucker was over 100 before the Secret Lair dropped. But
gotcha.
Yep. And
so
Emrakul's right there, so we know we're getting Emrakul. Is it a new version? Is it a reprint? Yep. So yeah, Eldrazi's a little.
Other thing that the other article said was double face cards are in this one too.
Okay.
So flip cards. So it could be like Ixalan ones, could be
the
Innistrad.
What about the Zendikar flip lands?
Flip lands, that's a possibility
ZFC
too.
Lands.
Yep, and anything new that they come up with. But so those are the 2 themes that we know: DFCs and Eldrazi.
Mm-hmm.
And so do with it what you will.
And probably fetches, but we don't know that for sure. Okay, so then MH3. See, and then we get in. Oh, it's later on. That's when all my specs come in as the late set. All right, so then we have. I don't even know where to go with here. I feel like Assassin's Creed.
Let's just assume that there's going to be assassins. In Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Universes Beyond. This sounds like it's going to be a small set release like March of the Machines Aftermath. So 100-ish cards, give or take. Boxes, set, packs, stuff like that. And so the 2 cards that I was thinking or, associated would be like Vraska, Queen Vachessa, Kelsian are all like assassins or creating assassins. And then there's Mary, the Killing Quill. That's like...
Yep. The one from New Capenna.
Yeah. Yep. And then you have Scarblade Elite, which spiked when Mary was printed. I think it's back down. Probably has a really good chance of going back up. Also has... I doubt they're going to do any reprints here. But I don't really think there's many associated with it beyond these 2.
Oh, it does say these cards will be legal in Modern. I just saw that right there.
Right. But I really doubt... Because Aftermath didn't have a lot of cards. It didn't have any reprints. It was a new set, but I would consider this a new set.
It's a great set to go for Stump the Smith Savant.
Maybe. Possibly.
It's already happened.
Those are the only 2, just assuming assassins.
Yep. And then we get to quarter 3, Bloomborough. This is where I did all my specs.
Oh, you did it down here. Go back.
Well, didn't you do specs here in this one?
So, I did as well, but I don't necessarily like mine.
Okay. So, and you point out, this is actually what triggered the idea of kind of doing this, because we used to do this a lot more with specking wise. Again, like you mentioned before, Secret Layers have kind of taken over for that. They're just more consistent. Whereas this is like what we're saying, you could go in and be like, all right, this is going to be printed, or for Bloomborough, we're going to be seeing animals. It's a no human world. So you expect, rats, squirrels, dogs, cats, just any type of animal is going to be in this plane. The hard part, like I was saying, is specking on something here, and then it gets reprinted here, and maybe a special version that you could be screwed. Whereas the Secret Layers are consistently, you make money off of. Anyways, so that being said, with everything being animals, there's a few specs. And I'm going to try to, do you want me to do the detailed thing like I sent you of where they are, or just kind of rattle them off like you did? I think I'll rattle them off like you did, so it's not too long of an episode. Okay, so there's a few things. All of these pretty much are Secret Lair or special versions. So I think the Secret Lair rat colony, which was in the...
that was like the first one.
No.
Rat colony.
Rat colony. So that... Oh, wait, no. Yeah, yep. That is the first one. Yes. Is one of the first ones. That one's at $9 or whatever for foils. I think those could get higher to like 20 when this gets released. But Relentless Rats also goes hand in hand. What I was going to say with that is that was in the one with the mystery booster, the Mox in a Box thing. So that was found in there. But you could only get the foils if you went to the event. So if you went to MagicCon, wherever that was at. So there's a very limited supply of those. The Relentless Rats are like $5 for non-foils and 14 right now for the foils. I think those are really good specs for rats. Rats, squirrels are kind of like cult tribal
those
stuff.
are the big ones.
Yeah, like those are when we had Modern Horizons 2, a lot of the squirrel stuff. And actually, I'll mention the squirrels now. Chatterfang, I think, is a good one to go after. Toski is just in general a good one for not just squirrels, just decks in general. Those are $8 at foil right now, so those are a really good one. Squirrel Mob, Secret Layers are down to 4. They were up at one point to $18 when Modern Horizons 2 came out. Deranged Tournament. Now I'm gonna give a little thing here. I own these, so I'm not trying to pump my shit. But Deranged Hermit is a reserve list card, and what Deranged Hermit is it comes out and it gives all your squirrels 1+1, and I think it makes like 3 or 4 squirrels, but it has 4 squirrels, but it has is it Fading or is it the Echo? Echo. So
the other one has Vanishing.
Thank you. But Deranged Hermit, you can get those right now, the non-foils for $20. That got as high as 130 when Modern Horizons 2 came out. If you got the Judge foil, that's at 70 right now, and that got as high as 300. That's what I got right now for mine. I buy listed that on Card Kingdom, so it's not like something I purchased, but those could be potential spec targets. And then the last thing is Swarm Yard. That is actually, it's an interesting one because that is at its high. All it's been doing is climbing the Secret Lair. Secret Lair version because it has the squirrels in it. That's at $25 at this point. If we get squirrels in this, expect that to bump up more. That's a higher end spec. I don't necessarily say go deep on that, but that's a unique art for this. I think that's it for my.
And so my little take, I kind of agree with everything you're saying there. Rats and squirrels are probably your best spec areas and the most exciting for people. Sounds like mice are going to be there. There's only like 20 mice.
I didn't even know there were mice.
I looked them up. Don't do it. And then dogs and cats are very popular. People like Good Boys. But
the Secret Lair.
Let's talk about Secret Lair. That's going to be Ren and Suri. That's going to be cat and dog. That's going to have all of them.
Yeah.
To make it any sort of deck. That's going to have probably be token based, like we're talking about Anointed Procession reprint. I would not spec on anything cat or dog until I see what that full deck is. And all of those cards aren't going to go up. And you might get, Ren and Suri will recover because there's going to be enough more support in Bloomborough. But I don't see anything going like way up by any means.
Yep.
That
would
be my thoughts.
My big note on that, I had a star next to cat and dogs. Don't go in on those yet.
Right.
Wait until the Secret Lair drop and then see what's there and what's not, and then decide what you want to go in on.
Yeah. And if something doesn't show where you're like, oh, this, because there might be a lot of cats missing. There's plenty of cats out there because like that's the Leonin from Mirrodin. Like, I think there's gonna be token based, not artifact equipment based. So you could be missing a lot in that section, but there's not a whole ton there.
Yeah.
Like, and so I don't need to go there at this point. So I'd say we can move on.
Okay. And then I think the last thing, and I don't have anything for here because this one will be interesting, but it's a Dusk Morn House of Horror. So this is going to be like a 70s, 80s horror movie is what it said. So I'm guessing we're going to be vampires and demons and or maybe not vampires.
Not that we know of. So what they were saying in there was it's going to be haunted house style.
Oh, but it's
expect ghosts and ghouls, which and then what are you doing?
It's like the home thing. If you go to like the little thing, it just pops up like a news thing on the side. It's not my search history because there'd be some boobies in there. No, I'm just kidding. Are you trying to look and see it, or are you reading
No.
it?
I'm trying to read what's highlighted there. And so I think this is going to be much more like it literally has horror in the name, so I think you're going to get a lot more horrors there. I think spirits will be a thing. I think humans will probably be in red and green, and then so black, white, and blue are going to be like the spirits, ghosts, like I said, horrors, and I can see zombies potentially, but I would be very confident in horrors and spirits.
Anything that scares you, then that'd be something to.
Everything scares me. Everything. I need to be on Bloomborough, and that's my plane. That's where I get to be.
Get the fuck out.
Yeah. I'm
That's
just trying to.
That's
look
what you
at-
say to those scary monsters, there, Lowry.
So that would be kind of just where I'm looking at it.
I didn't put
That's
anything
probably
down
the
for that.
easiest thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say look into spirits. The only one that I want to kind of go out and get, and I'd have to, is Tallow Wisp, and that's an uncommon. So I'd be like going.
You're going against
my own
everything
advice.
you just said.
Right. But it's basically whenever you cast a spirit, you get to go search for an aura and put it in your hand from your deck. So I think a
what
foil
set
of
is that
would be
from?
really good. That's from Saviors of Kamigawa.
Okay, so it's an old enough set.
Yeah, and so that's the other thing too, is I would go back and look at the first Kamigawa sets, Saviors, Champions, and Betrayers, and look for foils in that range if they haven't already gone up and they're spirit focused. Could be something. But that I wasn't gonna go in that deep. There's also the Mausoleum Wanderer. That's kind of nice. It gets +1/+1 whenever a spirit comes into play, and you can sacrifice it and counter spell unless they pay its power. Hoffrey, Ghost Forge, gives spirits +2/+1 and haste. Maybe trample. It's in red white. Hallowed Haunting creates spirit tokens equal to the amount of spirits that you have, and that's in the current Innistrad.
What is the flip land that turns into the horror? Are they making? They're making soldiers, aren't they? Not spirits. 1/1. You know what I'm talking about? The one that's a land and it flips over. It's a 9/7 crazy thing. It was in the Cute to Brute commander deck.
Are you talking about Bracella?
No. Shit.
Because that turns into an Eldrazi that creates Eldrazi horrors.
No, it's it makes, I think it's five colorless, and it makes 1/1 white. I think they're soldiers. I don't think they're spirits. But then if you it's tapping 5, sacrifice 5, and it flips over, and it's a 9/7 indestructible, haste, flying, and it might have lifelink.
Ardent Veil. That was in the Cute to Brute.
That's what I said. Is in the commander Cute to Brute.
Okay.
What is that one though? No, it's West. It's West.
Westville Abbey.
There we go. Westvale Abbey. What is that? Let me check that quick. I just want to see what it's making.
It's a demon.
It's that. You're right. Westvale. But what are they? They're not making. Oh,
LE.
Westvale.
Those are clerics. Human clerics.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Black, white.
Yep. Okay. So never mind. I was just curious. All right. Cool. Was there anything else you had there, buddy?
Nope. That's it.
Why is this all going wonky? All right. There we go. All right. We'll see you, Parks. Thanks for joining, buddy. Okay. So yeah. So I guess in general we haven't done this kind of specking for a bit. This is how we used to kind of spec, like you mentioned earlier. Not this far in advance. Like this, we're talking about.
There is a real lack of information, so I would go with whatever sure things there are. And I don't, there are some here that I like the Aetherworks Marvel. I think that'd be a good one. I think Gonti's Aether Heart would be really good.
Personally, I like.
I think
squirrels, I think, are
squirrels and
always
rats,
squirrels
sure.
and rats are always a good spec. They're gonna peak and valley. They'll spike, they'll come down when it gets more support. But they're one of those tribes that people just freaking love. And when something comes out that gives you more support of it, I mean, Chatterfang was huge. That was a great general for squirrels. and they made everything across the board go up. So those I feel very comfortable with. On the medium higher specs, this is, you know, the fetches. I really like that idea of the fetches. My only concern is that because of how much was printed in MH2, is that still going to hold the price down? Like, we'll see right away. When MH3 comes out, let's just say that the allied fetches get printed there. We'll see if the enemy fetches start to climb or get a little bit of a spike. If they don't within a month or two after that comes out, then that means that there's just so much out there. They printed so many different versions. That might be their new plateau, you know, which is interesting. I mean, it hurts me on specs because I picked up a bunch of Scalding Tarns when they were like $30. Was it the full art foils or maybe it was the retro foils? And now those are lower than that. So I'm hoping.
Good for you.
So I'm hoping that they go up. But maybe this is just their new plateau or their new bottom, and they just don't really go up that much unless they wait years and don't print it. But okay. I think that's it for that. We got right at an hour, but we still have one more thing to do here. Let's get to this. Let's get to this, and let's get to where is it? There it is.
I really hope we haven't done this.
No, I didn't see it in my.
Round one.
Excuse me, I believe you have my stapler.
Fight.
Staple versus. All right, this is the game that you explain what we do.
All right. Staple versus is where we take two cards, sometimes well known, sometimes not so much, but they're semi-equal, but not exact. All right. Not exact. And so we pit them against each other. I represent today Blasphemous Act. Adam represents Chandra's Ignition.
Woo!
Generally, I explain what my card does, and then Adam goes and he tries to talk. So Blasphemous Act, 1 red, sorcery, and then it deals 13 damage to each creature. How good is that? That's a crazy ass card. Crazy. Lightning Bolt doesn't even deal 13 damage to every creature.
Yeah, this is boring.
And that's
card.
a really good card.
Board wipes are so boring. When you just
that's a terrible argument when they're both board wipes.
No, because Chandra's I guess people listening. Chandra's
Ignition.
Ignition.
How about you read Chandra's Ignition?
3 colorless and 2 red. It's a sorcery. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to each other creature and each opponent. So your creature survives at the very least. And not only that, you're dealing damage to opponents. And think if your creature, which has happened multiple times, it actually happened on Guy's weekend, when your creature has lifelink, it's dealing damage to all of those creatures and all of those players, and you are gaining all that life. Chandra's Ignition has won me multiple games. Blasphemous Act is just a fucking thing they put in every goddamn red commander deck. It's been printed 20 plus times.
Look, you need to put some respect on its name. You can't just can't talk to it like that. Because there's a reason why they put it in every fucking deck.
Because it's boring.
And it's still a $3 card.
Right.
No, it's boarding. It's called board wiping. And
you know how much we love those board wipes, right? I mean, that's
what happens. Is Chandra's Ignition good if we have a 3/3 in play? No.
Sure.
It's not. No, it's not.
Sure.
Not for 5. Yeah. Okay. I see what you're doing there.
All those 1/1s, you're destroying those 1/1s. What if that 3/3 has lifelink? Fantastic. And
it's
the
not
other
going
part
to.
Of the other part is, what if it has death touch?
It would kill everything.
Yeah.
Do you know what Blasphemous Act does?
Kills your stuff
everything.
Too, and doesn't do anything to players.
Or lifelink.
Doesn't
or
do anything to players.
It just happens. It doesn't do anything to.
Well, Scott,
what happens if you go Chandra's Ignition, target that, and somebody goes kill that creature? Because guess what? Nothing happens.
Right, but the thing is
right.
I would just say build a better deck. Build a better deck. Protect it. Protect it. Protect it.
How
What
many
if-
pieces are you trying
if-
to get
what if,
in to make Chandra's ignition?
What if my
decent?
creature? Oh, decent. You bullshitting me. How you're the one that showed me
Decent.
Chandra's ignition in the first place, and now it's like in almost every red deck that I have. Voltron decks love Chandra's
You should
ignition.
not use
Blanca.
the magic against me. Right.
How many truthfully Blasphemous Act decks do you? How many do you have that in? How many decks is that in for you? The silence you hear is Lowry
Ow.
Smith. That's
Can you hit my
Get
button?
the fuck out.
Well, okay. I'm gonna be honest here. Chandra's Ignition is in one deck, maybe two, and Blasphemous Act is not in any of my decks, but that's not because it's not good. It's
just
because it's
it's-
used
Okay, to
all
give
the
you this,
time.
every time we
All
do
the time.
when we've been doing our budget whatevers, that's one that gets removed every single time
because
when
you're
we-
bored of it. Clearly, you're
bored.
bored of it.
It's a
It doesn't mean that it's bad.
I'm not
It
saying it's
means
bad.
that
It's boring. We don't like the
no. So are basic
one-sided-
lands, but you need to run those too.
Yeah, but we don't play
You'll
just
learn your
board
lesson
wipes.
eventually.
We like one-sided board wipes where you have a benefit. That's Chandra's Ignition. That's a game winner, especially if you're playing
How
Voltron
about
decks.
this? You can add in things. How about I'm going to add in? How good is Blasphemous Act in a Vial Smasher deck? They get to deal 9 random damage to somebody too. Come on, that's pretty good.
This at 5. That's not that bad, and you're dealing damage to everybody else as it hits. So you
Oh.
get one random person gets 9.
What damage are you going to do?
Chandra's
2?
Ignition is going to do 5 with random, and then whatever creature to everybody else and all the creatures.
I would assume
and
that
you
you're choosing Vial Smasher. And then it's doing 2 damage to everything. It's
What if you have something bigger than that? What if you have something
See,
bigger than that?
You're kind of picking up on my tendencies, and I know that I'm lying when I go sure, and I know you're lying currently.
Well, okay. Scott says Blasphemous Act a lot of times only costs 1, but it's just a boring board wipe. Like
That's what
if
I
you're
said.
just
I said
boring,
1 red. I didn't say it was 8 in a red.
right? No,
but
but
in
he's just
Vial
saying
Smasher, it looks at the CMC, not what
right,
was
right, right.
called,
No,
like
that's not what I'm not
So,
arguing. That I'm just saying.
I'm arguing with Scott currently, all right? Because arguing with you doesn't matter because I'm going to win this.
No, this is so like just straight up board wiping for no reason it's so boring. I don't have any non one-sided board wipes. I don't have them in there. You don't play Wrath of
Right.
Gods. You don't play Blasphemous Acts. It has to fit and give you an advantage. That doesn't. It just it's a fucking Cyclonic Rift basically. You're just going, well, Cyclonic Rift, let's bounce everything and start over, and it's have a plan.
Right. I
Build a
agree
better
that
deck.
Blasphemous Act is basically as good as Cyclonic Rift. I agree.
Get the fuck out.
Can we pull up EDH rec numbers?
Oh, that's
Do we know
fine.
that?
You know
Did you
why?
not look?
Because it's been printed in every single pre-con deck, so that also gets added in there because they just don't know. They're boring. Wizards is boring. That's why we tear apart those decks and make them better. We build better decks, and this is one of the cards that immediately gets removed. Immediately. Always. You're not saying anything more. so I'm
But
just
not
keep-
because it's bad.
Yes. It's
No,
bad.
it's not bad. You're silly.
bad. It's
You're a
bad.
silly goose.
It's bad. I like playing cards that win me the
You're
game. Blasphemous Act
you're
just
sounding like a sheep right now. Bad. Bad.
Blasphemous Act
Bad.
just resets the game. That's the worst
just
way
a
to play
wrath.
Magic.
Wraths
Yes.
are played all the time.
Play better
all the time.
cards. Play better cards.
All the time. Do you know what I can hold up with Blasphemous Act? Any type of protection spell. To Fury's protection, easy.
I can have a
Right?
protection from red, and Blasphemous Act
Right.
doesn't do
Okay,
shit.
but yeah. What?
It doesn't do shit. Because
do
Blasphemous
shit
Act
in
is
what?
protection from red.
What card are you talking about?
Auroch Champion. Pro
So you
red.
get one
pro-
card saved.
Yeah. Hey, I'm saying pro red.
glad you're excited about
any of the
that.
swords that have pro red on
You're
it?
excited about
The
that.
what did our what was our pro? What colors is our winner? Wait, I can get there. Let's
Oh,
get there.
build a better deck. Yeah, what about
it's
it?
black and
Neither of them
green.
are red.
I was just checking, but the other ones have it. The other ones over here have it.
Right. Right. You're right. They
And
do.
yeah, I like what hey Lowry, read your shirt.
I would just say build a better deck. You could hit that button for me too. Here's the thing though, is like heroic intervention. I'm paying 3 and 4, and in comparison, you could do those things too, but you're doing it at 7 and 8, which is a big difference in CMC and what you're trying to do in protecting your own stuff, and then you can certainly one side that board wipe as well. So I just, the cost is so nice. 13 damage is going to kill 99% of germs.
It's so good that you have it in
This is your
zero
Lysol cleanup.
You have it in
just going to
zero
kill
decks.
everything
It's
that you need.
so good that you have it in 0 and you have Chandra's in at least 2.
No. Okay, so this is what we're
You
trying to
said
get
it.
at. You're trying to go, my card is better, and I'm saying I'm agreeing with you that Blasphemous Act is boring, but it's still very,
It's
very
lazy.
good.
It's
Ignition
lazy.
is more interesting.
It's lazy. It's boring. It's if you just don't know how to pick good removal or interesting removal or benefit yourself removal, that's Blasphemous Act. Go for it.
In all the red decks you have, how many Chandra's Ignitions do you have in there?
Whew, a lot.
2, 3?
Let's see. Blanca.
Or is it every red deck?
It might be in every red deck. Because you're the one that introduced me to it, I think was with Feather.
Right.
Was it Feather that you did
Yeah.
it? Yeah. And then
It's so good in Feather.
ever since then, it's like, because then the Commander flip coin deck, I think, is when that when Chandra's got reprinted in there, and I kept every single one of those because I was like, well, I did make a proxy of that one, so maybe I did sell some of those, but it's in I think every single red deck. So you got Duke, Blanca, Magda. I mean, every single red deck I have has that card in it, except for maybe the 5 color. But then Blasphemous Act isn't ever a thought to go in a deck for me because it feels exactly like Wrath of God.
It's just, if you were going to pick like top 5 red cards, Blasphemous Act is in it. So I get that.
No.
Top 5 red card.
No.
Easy.
Lazy. It's lazy.
Well, also true.
It's lazy.
But
Then would you say
you got to go
would
talk
you-
to people that complain about staples and how they got to use them all the time?
like Wrath of God? Do you have Wrath or Damnation in any of the other decks? Like
It doesn't mean
this,
they're bad.
but
They're quite good.
But it's lazy. It's just Wrath. It's just starting over.
548,615 decks.
I have
you
the
didn't say
numbers.
it. I already asked.
I have the
so
numbers
now
there.
I got to go do it myself.
Well, Chandra's is only
How many is yours?
65,000, but it's only been printed 1 time or 2 times and a secret layer
They
deck.
have been out. They've both been out an appropriate amount of time. It's
But
not
you
like
underst-
Chandra's Ignition's
you
been
understand-
around a year or two.
You understand that for the deck counting, it also counts anybody that adjusts the precons or the precons, everything that's
548,000.
yeah, it doesn't mean
I almost have
overused.
500,000 more decks than you.
it's overused.
This might be
That's-
the most
we got a bunch-
lopsided EDH rec thing.
There's
that
a
we've
bunch
ever
of
done.
lazy Commander players. I'm sorry if you guys play with Blasphemous.
Now
Act.
you're out there. You insult our Discord 3 years ago. Now you're insulting just people that are build Commander decks in general.
It's just like when
they're
somebody
out there
just
catching
shoves
strays right
it's
now.
like
I don't know
it's
what
like
you're
what I
doing.
used to do with Cyclonic Rift, being like, well, I don't have enough removal or a missing enchantment removal. We'll throw in Cyclonic Rift. Just that covers my bases. That's what Blasphemous Act is. It's like it's being lazy.
That is exactly. I don't know why you're
being
making my
lazy.
arguments for me. It's that good. I
no,
agree.
it's not that good. It's being lazy.
It's just so good that you just toss it in because it's that good.
It's not. It's just starting. It's so.
Lightning Greaves, Soul Ring. It's a red deck. Blasphemous Act.
It's terrible.
Purple stuff. Sunny D. That's basically what it is.
I hate
All right.
Blasphemous Act. It is such a lazy card to
Wow,
play.
that's a strong.
I do. This is like
Strong
a
words.
true like staple verse. Except I know that you don't play it, so you're just arguing your side because of that. But
Right.
Blasphemous Act just bugs the crap out of me
Why?
because it's just lazy. It's lazy.
That's what
Lazy.
it is.
It
What
is.
if it just wants to take a nap? It's good if you put a little work into it, just like Chandra's
is-
Ignition is okay.
There
if
is
you
no
put some
work into it. It's just a board. It's a board
What do
wipe.
you mean?
There's
What do
no
you mean?
one-sided board wipe with it.
Right. If Chandra's Ignition, if
The
you don't
only
have any creatures,
I'll give you
you're
this.
done.
I'll give you this.
It's not
If you can
removal.
add it
Dead card.
into like what is it, Brash Taunter. Now, if you use it there, that makes sense because you're doing damage to Brash Taunter and you're hitting somebody to the face.
Stuffy Doll.
Sublime. Fantastic. Great. Those cards, good. But that's not where this goes in. This just goes in to just be like, I don't have a board wipe.
That's what deck I had it in last. Was a Stuffy Doll deck. Yes.
Throw it in.
It goes decent in a Rage deck. Same as yours.
I would just say build a better deck. That's all I would say.
Sometimes you just need damage.
I would just say build a better deck.
Or
Get the fuck out.
I'm good.
yeah, I am too. All right. For that, I apologize for people that I insulted. If you put this in your deck, it doesn't mean I hate your building style.
Vote for Lowry.
Pick better cards.
A vote for Blasphemous Act is a vote for Lowry.
Yep, that's how this works.
That's all it is. I'm selling myself just as much as the card.
Well, that means that you get at least half the Discord voting for you, even if they like Chandra's. Probably more than I'd say 90% of the Discord then votes for you. All right, so
I feel like Renshai's offended, but that's about it.
Well, I made this button specifically for Renshai because this is the whenever you do your hashtag whatever, this is our Urza Saga.
Get the fuck out.
But yeah, you can vote for this on the community tab on our YouTube page, and we will announce the winner next week. All right. Well, that's a wrap for this week's episode. Again, we will be doing Commander games potentially this week, Discord Commander, and we'll see what happens with the Secret Lair. If something does pop up with all the cards and all that, we will probably do an impromptu live thing, but we'll see when that happens. So, all right, gang, that should do it for this week. We will catch you guys next week.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.
I love
I forgot to thank everybody. Thank you, Renshai. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you, Cole. Thank you, Trav Knight, Ted, Paul, Esteban, and Ibukaki. Cheers. Sorry. I totally forgot.